What's up, everyone? We're back once again. Deep Cut Books, the absolute authority on book reviews from yesterday and today. And I don't say that lightly. This is the authority. And if you don't believe me, search BookTube and you will see that there's no one out there that's nearly as much fun as I am. So, anyway, today we are going to dive into the Shatnerverse. Yes, I am a Trekkie. I was brought up sometime between the original series and TNG, The Next Generation. And no, I won't go any further into detail because I don't want you to be able to age me. And, I mean, age is just a number, right? But understandably, most of my joints beg to differ with that adage. Anyway, Shatnerverse. I only have two. I lost my copy of The Avengers. But Star Trek novels, William Shatner, co-written with Judith and Garfield Reeves Stevens, Ashes of Eden, and The Return, and my missing Avenger copy. These books came out between 1995 and 1997, and they take us back to the James T. Kirk universe, his adventures. These three novels form the core of what fans call the Shatnerverse, and it's just a continuation of Captain Kirk's story after his apparent death in Star Trek Generations. I should have apologized, but if that is a spoiler for you, you're probably listening to the wrong book review, at least for today. These three books are part of a larger series, but they're what I consider the core. And in Ashes of Eden, Kirk is staring down the barrel of retirement as the Enterprise A is decommissioned. Of course, he's restless, fighting the end of his perceived relevance. And then, behold, a woman named Talani lures him into a planet called Chal under the guise of promising eternal youth. I will fully admit, I could probably fall for that honey trap when retirement comes, right? Or old age. You don't know how old I am. Things go sideways, of course, as they always do. A conspiracy involving rogue Starfleet units and Klingons threatened to spark a war. Kirk gets back together with Scotty and the rest of his original crew to uncover a plot tied to a doomsday weapon. The team foils the plan, all is saved, the universe continues. Kirk is suddenly not so unsatisfied with being put out to pasture. Probably a break sounds pretty good to him at that point. In The Return, we pick up after Generations where, hold on, another spoiler alert, Kirk is supposed to be dead. The Borg and the Romulans, somehow I still don't know how they got together, are scheming and Kirk is resurrected. Of course, this time Kirk pairs with the Next Generation crew, which I found to be great, including Picard and Data. This one is my favorite of the three, probably due to the level of action that we see in this one, but also I like Kirk and Picard together, and I was drawn to the fact that I got one more adventure with one of my childhood heroes, Captain Kirk. Avenger, missing in action, ties up the loose ends. In Avenger, a plague threatens the Federation. Kirk teams up with Spock, who's just lost his father, Sarek, and we get a mix of some personal drama and galactic stakes. The Genesis Project, which is a throwback to Wrath of Khan, and Talani all come back into the plot as major characters. Outside the wistfulness of extending the life and times of James T. Kirk and the action, I really enjoyed, like I do in most Star Trek content, the way the crew dynamic always works. They always come together to solve some, galactic threat. And out of all the franchises, I think Star Trek by far is the one that captures that dynamic of working as a team and relying on various experts to succeed under pressure. They just nailed it. Admittedly, I'm biased though. If I wasn't, the Shatnerverse would probably not be a part of this channel, right? I did look at the reviews. Amazon and Goodreads seem to enjoy the story's depth, especially Kirk's struggle with retirement. I can get a little personal towards in some demographics. One reviewer said it was like watching a never-produced movie and loved how Shatner weaves in Star Trek history, like the Genesis Project and David Marcus's death. The Excelsior scenes with Sulu and the original crew are always a hit. More spoilers. We already talked about the Genesis Project. as a callback to Wrath of Khan. David Marcus is Kirk's long-lost son, and the Excelsior is featured in the Undiscovered Country. If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure it was the Undiscovered Country. Yeah, these details, fun and nostalgic for people like me. Their review was pretty much dead on. Another one discusses the cinematic writing used by Shatner and the Reeves-Stevens team. These 3 books do read like movies. Also, when we get to blend the crews and build on that unique Star Trek camaraderie, it adds that much more to it, especially if you're a diehard fan. The Return is a New York Times bestseller, and fans love the adventure and the resurrection of Kirk and the epic Borg-Romulan showdown. Avenger specifically gets noticed for its character study, especially diving into Spock's grief over Sarek. Though I can't imagine, as a writer, trying to figure out how to capture the Vulcan grieving process on paper. I can't see that as being an easy endeavor by any stretch of the imagination. I probably would have found a way to get around it. Other true fans are going to gush over the world building and the bits of humor that are weaved into the narrative. In reviewing the negative reviews and overall what they see, the theme, they still, even the people who didn't like it, see a lot of heart there. They see that they still capture that original magic that made Star Trek a staple that it is to this day. But as we get deeper into the negatives, we tend to see a separation. I'll try to keep an open mind when people are talking about Captain Kirk. Some readers see this as nothing more than a love letter to Kirk. Fair, but that's also kind of the point. He's the guy who wrote it. But like they always do, some troll is there to just make things weird. I don't know why. He states that the series is a reflection of Shatner's ego and nothing more. They make note of the elder Kirk's romance with a much younger Telani. I roll my eyes at that, like I do a lot. The way I see it, if you still got it at Kirk's age and you came back from the dead, flaunt it, right? And if Telani's got a thing for older dudes, everybody goes home happy. It sounds more to me like that particular reviewer that reviews a reflection more of that troll's status of his love life than it probably is about William Shatner. My advice would be try talking to a girl, see where that takes you. Also, when you finally do work up the courage to talk to the opposite sex, don't open with a Star Trek anecdote. Unless that is you're at like Comic-Con or something. Good luck. Other negatives, they complain about convoluted plots, the fact Kirk's resurrection, quote, honestly, stretches believability. A, we're reading sci-fi, bro. B, we're talking about bringing somebody back from the dead. We're not solving a math problem here. Rest of the negatives are much the same. Character, plot, blah, blah, not worth going into. The bottom line is that even the naysayers largely admit that the Shatnerverse is a fun ride. And that's pretty much all that matters. We're not looking for, reality here. Stretches believability. You're kidding me. What we'll read this stuff for is to disappear a little bit, go off wrangling the stars with some old friends, which the Shatnerverse nails. As for the writers, even if you're not a Star Trek fan, you know who William Shatner is. Not only did I get to grow up watching him in Star Trek, but also T.J. Hooker, classic, forgotten, one of my faves, and Boston Legal, which I might say arguably his best work, playing opposite James Spader as a couple of lovable yet slimy corporate lawyers. That was a fantastic show. Both worth a look, and you're welcome. Judith and Garfield Reeves-Stevens are credited with working on Ashes of Eden. This writing, producing powerhouse have 20 different Star Trek novels under their belt and have writing credits attributed to them on the Enterprise and Voyager series, respectively. And another book that we're going to talk about at some point is another of my Star Trek favorites, is Federation, written by the Reeves-Stevenses. I guess that's how you would say it, Reeves-Stevenses. But we'll get into that later. And anyway, that is it. That is the Shatnerverse. There's more to the first 3 books, but I think these ones are the best. I think these ones set the stage and tell the story the best of the rest of them. But that's my biased opinion. They capture the spirit of Star Trek, heart, the action, nostalgia. But again, my opinion. I'd love to know what you think. Are you a Shatnerverse fan, or should Kirk have just stayed dead? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and give me a thumbs up and subscribe. I hate saying that every time. Also, check out Overmatch. Ty Benhoff cannot keep saving the world without your help. I would close this particular one with a live long and prosper, something like that, but even my eyes would roll and my spirit would probably die a little bit. So how about we just agree to do this again very soon. Don't forget Overmatch, and I am out.